and welcome to another episode of the Family Gamers Podcast. This is episode 412.
Hey, hello everybody. We are excited to be here and do another one of these shows. Who are we? We are the Family Gamers. As always, I am your host, Andrew, and I am joined by my lovely and wonderful wife, Anitra.
That's me.
Really, what we should say here is that Anitra is the host, and she is joined by her slovenly and boring husband, Andrew. But that's just not how it works out. I don't know. We've got the thing all practiced, and so here we are.
You are not slovenly, and you're definitely not lazy. We are going to be joined by another guest in the later part of the show.
We are. So 2 episodes ago, before we did our big PAX Unplugged extravaganza, we talked about our board game gift guide.
Yes.
And this week, we are going to talk about the video game gift guide. But that's a weird thing because the Family Gamers don't have a video game gift guide. So we're going to do what we do every year and invite our friend Steven Dutzman from Engaged Family Gaming to come on the show and talk a little bit about some video games that they are recommending at engagedfamilygaming.com.
Yes.
So that's second half of the show that we'll have Steven come in. First half of the show, we're going to do all the things that we normally do.
Starting with a fact?
Sure, let's start with a fact. Listen, sometimes they're just dumb facts. I spent a lot of time trying to find a really good, solid 412 fact that related to something that we could actually relate to in some way and wasn't some random number fact thing or whatever. And I just ended up finding the dumbest possible fact I could.
You did really well the last 2 episodes. I think we can give you a gimme.
Thank you very much. One of the facts that I actually almost did was that, like, apparently the area code in Pittsburgh is 412, and they're, like, super proud of their area code.
Sure.
Like, I couldn't really independently verify this, but there's a lot of, like, We the People 412, or, like, you know, Green Space 412, like, all these websites and stuff that use 412, which is the Pittsburgh thing, like, way more so than other area codes, which I can say with a degree of confidence because I've been searching every 3-digit number since, like, 125 or whatever we started doing this, and I saw way more Pittsburgh stuff. So anyway, Pittsburgh is proud of their 412 area code, and also, like, they held on to it as their only area code in Pittsburgh City proper for a really long time.
That's important.
And I think that's part of why it's such a strong part of their identity. They now have another overlay code, but it was just 412 for a really long time. So that's one, like, free fact about 412. My dumb one is from the Guinness Book of World Records. You are welcome, Zach. Okay. The most people washing dishes simultaneously is 412 people, and it was achieved by Henkel, like, I guess the company?
Yeah, they're
the knife company.
Sinks and knives. Yeah.
And Pril Isis in Algiers, Algeria on June 16th, 2017.
That's after we started the Family Gamers podcast.
In fact, is after we started, which is wild, but yeah, so that's my really, really dumb fact. I mean, this is possibly the one time in all of creation that moms were not asking their sons to get their dirty dishes and put them in the sink.
Maybe.
And that's it. That's my fact or two about 412.
I have a message from our sponsor. There is so much swirling around in this world that it's hard right now to find some stability. You might be struggling with some of what we've talked about in these messages before, like 529s, or financial scams, or even the sunk cost fallacy. On the positive side, you might be trying to figure out if this is a good time to refinance your house, how and where to invest your savings, or if and when you can retire. Whether you're worried about what's happening, or you are lucky to find yourself in a strong financial position and want some help in making the right move, First Move Financial can help. If you want some help finding solid footing underneath you, or help finding the right step to leap to the next level, head to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers to schedule a quick, free phone call and see how First Move can help you.
Thanks so much to the team at First Move for sponsoring another episode of the show.
All right, well, we have a lot of games to talk about and not a lot of time to do it.
We do not.
Why don't we start this time with the November monthly report?
Yeah, we're like halfway through December.
And use that as a jumping off point so that we can then go back and talk about a couple of the games that we played in the last 2-ish weeks.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Good thinking.
So my November monthly report, I have 54 plays of 28 unique games. PAX Unplugged definitely helped me in this regard. My H index is 4. There are actually 5 games that I played at least 4 times each. Chit Chat, Trio, Inc., Leaders, which we haven't talked about at all yet, and Odin. So I think we've talked about Trio and Chit Chat a bunch. We reviewed Inc. a couple of weeks ago. We reviewed Odin last week, and you should definitely go check out that review. Leaders is a 2-player kind of a dueling game. Like
it's absolutely a dueling game. It feels a dueling game like chess is a dueling
checkersy
game.
Or chessy. Yep. You actually aren't ever capturing pieces and getting them off the board, though. Instead, you're sort of drafting these unique leaders that all have different special abilities. And your goal is to trap your opponent's main leader, either with just getting 2 of your guys immediately next to him or completely trapping him with your guys and some other guys so that he can't move. It becomes really interesting as you work through how different powers can combo together. I played this a couple of times with Asher, and he has figured out some really excellent combos. Like, oh, my main leader can now move 2 spaces, and I also have a guy whose special ability is instead of moving, I can boost a guy who's next to me. And so he'll use that, and all of a sudden the leader has moved halfway across the board in a single turn. So it's been really interesting. We even played it when we had a power outage last week. It was a little tough to read the text on the cards in the dark because it's colored text on black. But we had a great time with it. We're definitely going to be playing a ton more of it. So, Andrew, tell us about your monthly stats.
Sure. So I actually, especially for me, had a pretty impressive month of November.
Oh, yeah?
I played 40 games, 18 unique games. I had an H index of 4. My over 4 games were Chit Chat, Leaders, Odin, and Trio. Does that list sound familiar, Anitra?
Sure does.
35 of the games that I played this month, I played with you, which is probably why that list sounds familiar. But what's really interesting is 33% of my games I played at 2 players, 33% of my games I played at 5 players.
That was definitely how the month of November went. Mm-hmm. Either it was the 2 of us playing together, or it was like our whole family playing together, and not a whole lot of in between.
Right.
It was unusual for me that those 30-odd games that you and I played together made you my most played with person by a huge margin this month.
Yep.
Normally, even if you're the leader, it's by a very 2 or 3 games played, and that was not the case this time. I played way more games with you than with anybody else.
Yeah. So I played a lot of the same games that you did. We've talked about Jungo. We just released a review for Jungo. I actually beat you at a game of Logic and Lore.
You did.
Admittedly, I played with a handicap, but I did win, which also kind of bore out one of the things that I had said about that game, where I think if you get one of the numbers early, it becomes a lot easier to kind of index all of your deduction off of that.
It can. It doesn't necessarily all the time.
Yeah. But if I'm going to talk about a game that we played the S'mores Galore Roast and Write. So this is the roll and write version or whatever, or it's just a roll and write game that is in the S'mores Galore's universe from Mighty Acorn Games, which is published by Mighty Acorn, kind of in concert, a little bit, sort of, I guess, maybe, with Grand Gamers Guild.
I'd say partnered with Grand Gamers Guild.
Yeah, whatever. Daniel Rocky, who runs Mighty Acorn Games, is the designer of the Artemis Project, which was a game that was published by Grand Gamers Guild a while ago. And he's done a bunch of work on a bunch of really great stuff. So that's the game that I want to talk about. We played this one at our breakfast date. It's a very cute little game. I mean, honestly and transparently, like, it didn't really blow me away. Like, it's fine. It's a fun kind of little roll and write.
It was a simple little roll and write. It has the same idea as the S'mores Galore card game, which is that you're trying to take whatever is given to you, which in this case is dice, and arrange those ingredients to make specific s'more recipes. And in this case, obviously you can rearrange the dice, but once you draw them on your board, they're stuck there. You were a lot better at that than me. You were better at planning ahead.
I mean, I won, but it's not like I crushed you.
No. I got lots of bonuses, but you did a better job planning.
Sure. So anyway, obviously a lot of the games that we played were games that we got from PAX Unplugged or got in for review very close to Unplugged.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of board gaming in the near future. We're really trying to hit these games pretty hard because we did bring a lot back from the show.
Yes.
And so even though we have a, scheduled cadence with reviews, we're trying to maybe get ahead a little bit so we're less stressed out about it.
That's the
things
hope.
Like that. So expect to see, new reviews every week, and maybe, just maybe, we'll release some extra ones as well.
Yeah.
That's the super, super quick look at the November monthly report.
I'm going to throw one thing in there, which was not a review game. We played a game of For Sale, which I've been wanting to do for a while, and I think we had a great time with that weird double auction that it has.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say about that, though.
Okay. All right. Let's take a minute to welcome the newest members to the Family Gamers community. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
All right. I will get the process started by saying welcome to New Young.
Welcome to Leonie.
Welcome to Shelby.
And Liz.
Welcome to Tomas.
And Thomas.
Not the same person.
Not the same person.
Welcome to Gilad.
Welcome to Roger.
And welcome to Valerie. As is appropriate, we have a snowman saying hello.
Yes. It is very cold here right now.
Yes.
Stop into the community and say hello to some of our newest members and share what games you've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, we're going to tackle our back talk, which for once has absolutely nothing to do with board games. Literally the opposite of board games.
For what it's worth, I'm continuing the trend for this week's back talk. I'm going to get us started with some comments from the Facebook community. Joseph Renninger says that going for a hike is an activity everyone enjoys in our family. I wish that was true for our family, but whatever. Bonus points for me, for Joseph, is if there is a geocache along the way. So we kind of sort of got into geocaching a little bit with the kids a little while ago. It really took a lot of effort from us to push it forward.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's okay.
Anyway, he keeps going. My family is usually happy to take a water/snack break while I bushwhack off the trail to find the cache.
That's probably a better way to do it than what I've done in the past.
Yeah.
On the Discord, Sarah Jane says bike rides, movie nights, community festivals, and live theater. I'm going to say movie nights and live theater are something that our family enjoys together.
Yes, I think that's true.
Generally speaking.
Yeah. I still think the live theater is something that we have to drive.
Less so now that we have kids who are like, hey, I have friends in the High School Musical.
Sure,
Let's go.
I mean, that's a little bit of a different thing, but okay, sure.
It's amateur live theater, but it's still live theater.
We went to see the Clue the musical with the kids. And that was awesome. It was very, very good. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Aaron Slavey says, skiing, being able to enjoy the outdoors during winter with the family. And appropriately and also adorably, Colleen Slavey says, I agree.
That's proof that their family enjoys doing it together, right? On the Discord, Bo Bondi says baking, gardening, and cruising. I'm not entirely sure what cruising in that sense means. Like,
I assume it means going on cruises.
Going on cruises?
As opposed to like a 18-month-old trying to learn how to walk.
Or just like getting in a car and driving, for that referred to as cruising USA? Too? Yeah. I don't know. Peter Schott says, we're heavily involved in American Heritage Girls and trail life, so they do a lot of outside stuff there. And we'll have get-togethers with friends as life allows, and usually just enjoy being together.
That's what we did when we played Chit Chat that first time. We just enjoyed being together and happened to have a board game on the table, which was this card game thing. Mike Wilson says we get annual passes at our nearest amusement/water park and enjoy spending time there in the summer and fall. We have some friends who do that kind of thing as well. Mm-hmm.
Nick NIC on the Discord says, we read and play video games, mostly Animal Crossing.
I get it. Yeah. Nick's going to be happy with this show, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Mark Spector says, watch movies.
All right.
I'm down with that.
Hey, man. The Joyful Jedi says, as much as he wants to answer this question, he doesn't really have anything specific. And everyone in the family being involved in something at the same time is pretty rare. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not normal for his family. That's fine.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that the concept of our entire family getting together to do a thing these days is less and less frequent. Right? So, there's no judgment.
Yeah. Courtney says playing music together as a family. She plays flute, her husband plays guitars and piano, older son plays clarinet, younger son plays trumpet, and she's a band teacher. So she has a nearly endless supply of music that they can read through together.
Sure, and it's all, easy to play.
I would assume so, unless you're like a high school band teacher, in which case it could be a little bit more challenging. Sure. But yeah, maybe another 5-10 years down the road, our family could be there.
I better take 5 or 10 years of lessons on something.
Yeah, right?
Brant Sanderson says music. He doesn't say playing music. He doesn't say listening to music. He doesn't say going to concerts. He doesn't say anything. He just says music.
Knowing Brant, I think it's probably all of the above.
Yeah, maybe.
I've heard on his podcast him talking about playing music together as a family.
Sure.
So,
well, there you go.
Our last one on the Discord is Jeremy, who says camping or just sitting around the solo stove, that's a campfire, chatting, drinking hot drinks. My wife and I love doing yard work together as well, even if we do sometimes butt heads about it.
Knowing Jeremy and his wife, that's funny. We as a family today, we live in Massachusetts, as we've mentioned on the show before. We drove down to Rhode Island and we went to one of the Newport mansions. Yeah.
Surprisingly, all of our kids enjoyed it. We really had a good time, all of us together, wandering around this giant, 8-bedroom mansion.
Seven bedrooms.
I don't know.
Yeah, so so the Newport mansions are used for filming of the HBO show The Gilded Age.
Yeah.
So they kind of they use different rooms in different Newport mansions. We went to the one that's called the Elms.
Which has no elms around it, which is very strange.
I don't know what the naming is for, but this was, it's crazy. This was basically a coal baron's summer home.
Yeah.
And it's huge. I mean, it's
required an army of servants to keep things running.
Yeah.
And it just everything you would expect. There's a ballroom, there's a drawing room, there's a library, there's a family suite away from all of this, the rest of this stuff. A bunch of what were for the time very high-tech bathrooms.
Yeah. I just thought about The Sound of Music while we were there.
Sure.
I mean, I guess that's a little bit after
that's a little later,
age, but just in general, the way the whole place was set up, and because Captain Von Trapp was very similarly appointed to this coal baron guy, where people would come and he would have balls and he would have servants and all this stuff. Von Trapp probably wasn't as rich as this guy was.
Probably not.
He had an estate, right? He had a large, it was very similar in a lot of those kinds of things, right? So I thought about, that movie a lot as we were kind of wandering the grounds. And
I kept telling the kids, it made me think of Jeeves and Wooster, the TV series or the books by P.G. Wodehouse, and just the idea of how normal it was among upper class people to just kind of go and hang out at somebody else's house for an undefined amount of time and bring servants with you and just socialize.
I think bring one servant with you. I think you were going.
You wouldn't normally bring a lot of servants.
Yeah, but I think you'd have a manservant or something.
But if you were a couple, say, you might bring. The man would bring his valet, and the wife would probably bring her maidservant as well.
Sure, maybe.
Your personal servants.
Right. Anyway,
so
we're not that rich, but it was cool to go to a place. So that was just another example of a thing that we did as a family. And I didn't expect them to hate it, but I think they liked it more than I expected they would.
They definitely enjoyed it. I think it was unlike a museum, because this was a house, there's something more inviting about it. Even though it's now basically set up like a museum.
I mean, it's effectively a museum now. But, you go to certain rooms and it's this is a bedroom. It's a bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even being able to see some of the bathrooms and the working kitchen and the pantry and the dumbwaiter they had installed.
They thought that stuff was the coolest.
That stuff was really cool.
It would be cool to walk into the kitchen, which is practically an industrial kitchen, and be so this is the kitchen, and the kids are what? This is huge,
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, and it was. I think that they have an idea in their heads, or had an idea in their heads of what a mansion was, and then they went to a place like this, which is a proper mansion.
Yeah.
And they're oh, this is more like a castle, and they're but yeah, I mean that's what a Gilded Age mansion is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was another fun thing that we did as a family.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be with Steven Dutzman to talk about video games.
All right, we'll be right back. And we're back. So, Anitra.
Yes.
We have brought a third person onto the show, which we actually haven't done in a while. Ever since we switched to the bi-weekly shows, it's been less common.
Yes, but this person barely feels like a guest. They feel like part of the family because it's Steven Dutzman from Engaged Family Gaming.
Yep.
We have him on every year at this
What's
time.
up, Steven?
What's up, guys? Yeah, I mean, at this point, you bring me in for sweeps week. You know what I mean? It's not really stunt casting, but at this point, everybody that listens to your show is used to my crap.
We hope.
Yeah, you've been here so many times that Aunt Velma doesn't even kiss you on the cheek anymore. So
it's I could just walk in and fix myself a plate and no one would notice.
Exactly.
Well,
notice.
I mean,
yes,
you notice because I'm bigger than everybody in your house. That's it.
Well, there's plenty
Not
of people
for
that still
long.
mistake the two of us for each other. So
I mean, listen. Okay, I know your kids are growing because I only see them a couple of times a year. Every time I see them, I'm wow, these are adult-sized
like
children in some cases.
Yeah.
But I'm a big dude, so it's going to be a while for them to catch up. So anyway, I'm on here at least once a year, and it's always holiday time, and it is my favorite thing to do is come here and kick down the board game doors and talk about video games.
So we do talk a little bit about video games on our show.
Oh, I know.
Every now
Not like you do, because you're the video game guy. And we are going to talk about your gift giving list, holiday gift giving list this year. But, to warm it up, I figured that we would talk about one video game that we're each playing. So I thought,
I love it.
Since you're the guest, what's the one game you've been playing these days? Talk about a game.
You know what? I've actually been playing a bunch of wild stuff, but I'm going to talk about a game that is brand new in that it came out the day before yesterday or yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Dogpile. It's on Steam. It's on sale right now, but depending on when this comes out, it'll be full price for a whole $8.99.
What? That's too expensive.
Big dollars, everybody. But here's the thing. Here's what Dogpile is. Full price is $9.99. It's on sale right now, 30% off for $6.99. So Dogpile is, are you guys familiar with the Suika game?
The what?
No.
That's a Suika game. It's the game with the fruit, and you drop the fruit, and like two cherries hit each other, and then they turn into an orange, and then the two oranges hit each other. You're not, you guys are looking at, okay. So this is a mobile thing. It's very like drop stuff into a bucket and have them match up and do things. It's kind of Tetris-y, but the vibe is cute fruit falling on things. So Dogpile is like Suika game in that you are dropping dogs into a pile, and dogs that match. So like the smallest dogs are like two little chihuahuas. And when the two little chihuahuas hit each other, they turn into a little Pomeranian thing. And if you put two Pomeranians together, they turn into a pug, and they keep going. And the idea is you win the game by getting two nines. Like, so it goes up and up and up, and you get two nines together and they make a 10, and it turns into a giant like St. Bernard, and then you win the game.
Okay. So this is a reminder. What's that Merge and Blade or whatever that game was?
Very similar to that. Yeah. It rolls with some of that.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
But it's a roguelike in that every run it's a deck builder. So all of the dogs are in your deck, and they're represented by cards. So you can draw additional cards. Cards will have like different effects on them. And then you can buy, and this is where it's random. You earn money for making matches, and then you can spend that on dog tags. And the different dog tags have different powers. And some of them are crazy. Like one of them is every time your deck needs to be shuffled, you flip the field. And so everything on the bottom goes to the top, et cetera, which is wild in a game like this, where it's like, oh, this thing's stuck on the bottom. Not anymore. Mm-hmm. Very cool, very fast. It's dumb fun. It's cute little dogs. So it is certainly appropriate for everybody. And it's only on PC right now, but this is the kind of game that I expect will find its way to other platforms. It's not very technically demanding, and it's very cool. So I recommend it for just about everybody. And if I may indulge and give a second one, I want to talk about Metroid Prime 4. I'm going to break the rules and say if you loved Metroid Prime before, you should play Metroid Prime 4. If you didn't like Metroid Prime before, you should not play Metroid Prime 4 because it is Metroid Prime as heck. That's it. I was going to break the rules. You're like, talk about one game.
Metroid Prime 4.
No, it's fine.
You're like, you can talk about one game, and I'm like,
listen. In real life, I'm a manager now, so when you break the rules, I push back against you for trying to break the rules, and then I let you break the rules because that's how I indulge my employees.
I don't want to get put on a pip today, man. I don't want that.
I've already done that today. We're not doing that again. We're good.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Anitra, what's your game?
All right, it's actually been a little while since I've played any video games, just with life, but I definitely want to spend a minute or two talking about Dredge.
Oh yeah. Let's do it.
Dredge is it's a fishing simulator, but it's also not
simulator ever.
It is a light horror game wrapped around fishing.
Do you want to say light?
I do because I don't usually like horror.
You say it's light horror because you hate jump scare horror or body horror, and this has neither one of those. This is creepy as all get out. But like nothing really bad ever happens.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be creepy. Like, they warn you at the very beginning of the game, like, don't go out at night and don't get too far away from the town and everything will be fine. And that's true. And at some point you wander a little bit too far away from the town and night falls and you're like, oh no. But you do a lot of things. You can power up your boat and all kinds of things so you can outrace the creepy things faster and get better fish and whatever. Uncovering the story related with the game has been really interesting to me. It's just the right combination of sort of a collectathon where you don't need everything, but you want to get a lot of different stuff, and a little bit of exploration, and gradually uncovering a story, which once again is creepy, but is not what I normally think of as horror. This is much more like things man was not meant to know.
Yeah, it's very atmospheric, right? Like, it's really all about the atmosphere and making you feel like it's just awful and terrible. But like, the actual moments of horror are really, I think it's more tense than scary. But tension freaks me out. I just talked about a game called Dogpile, so
honestly, I will say there are two different things that will happen when bad things are happening. And the giant monsters that you occasionally find bother me less than the effect of being overtired and out at night, which is all of a sudden everything sort of unfocuses and you get this effect as if you were watching an old 3D movie with no 3D glasses on. Everything kind of separates into blue and red outlines and it all shakes a little bit. That creeps me out a heck of a lot more than the monsters. Because I'm like, how do I make this stop?
Well, isn't that kind of like The Quiet Place, right? Like, you know, those movies were like way scarier and way more tense until we actually saw what the monsters looked like.
Right.
And now like, oh, it's aliens. I guess spoilers for A Quiet Place.
Yeah. You've ruined it. You've now.
You've ruined the movie that I'm never going to watch.
Yeah.
So... we got Dredge for free on Xbox Game Pass or whatever it's called now.
Still Game Pass.
Still Game Pass. And I definitely have gotten our free money's worth out of it.
You get what you pay for and sometimes more. My game is a game that probably anybody who pays attention to video games these days has heard of. It's called Hollow Knight Silksong. I have put about 80 hours into this game.
This has been the game in our house for everyone not named Anitra.
Beaten Acts 1, 2, and 3. I, as of 2 days ago, have 100%ed the game. But I am not going to play Steel Soul mode because I just don't have the time for that.
Yeah, you're an adult. That mode is for streamers and children who have lots of time.
Yeah,
like real adults.
I genuinely enjoy sucking the marrow out of the bones of that game. It is beautiful and gorgeous. I think Christopher Larkin is an absolute genius. His music is incredible. I love everything about the setting of the game. I played the heck out of the first Hollow Knight. I think that there are aspects of Silksong that are harder than the original. I had less trouble with Silksong than I did with the original Hollow Knight. I don't know if that's because about 3/4 of the way through the game, 90% of the way through Act 2, I basically just said to myself, well, no, it was after I beat the final boss of Act 2 that I said, from here on out, I'm just going to use the guide and I'm just going to be okay with that because the fun of this game is playing this game, not actually uncovering every single secret in all of its crazy places because you won't find them if you don't have a guide. So that was a fun way for me to play the game. So, Hollow Knight Silksong, a game rules. And now I'm done with it. So last night I installed Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
Good timing, considering last night was the Game Awards.
Right.
I guess I'm spoiling when we're recording. I don't know if you guys obfuscate that, but
it's not that weird.
I don't know if you obscure that information. LOL. But yeah, I mean, good timing. You know what? I don't have Game Pass anymore, so we actually have to buy it. But my wife, who is not like the biggest gamer on earth, said to me yesterday, I really think I got to play Clair Obscure. I really got to play that game. It looks so good. I just got to play it. And so like, I know that when your wife says I need to play a game,
you buy it. You instantly buy it
within shooting distance of Christmas. I know what I need to do. I know what I was told. And it is on sale right now.
You understand this assignment?
Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, I understood the assignment, and it's and we can get it on PlayStation and that's my preferred controller. It's going to be fine. I mean, so I'm glad that you moved on. Silksong, I played it the day it came out. I played it for about 3 hours, and then I put it down. My problem is that I am hilariously bad at video games, and it is hard.
It is hard. It's so hard.
The problem, and so it's not that I don't think I could figure it out. I'm sure I could, because I mean I'm bad, but like it's a pattern recognition game. I raid in World of Warcraft and stuff like that, which is all learning the dance and doing the thing. That's not a problem. It's just that I don't have the patience to learn it all by myself. And it's a solo game. It's not like I can get bailed out by somebody. It's not like a Souls-like where I could be like, hey, Andrew, come save me. And you'd be able to come in and be like, I got this, right? With that said, I stopped playing not because I thought it was bad, but just because I was like, I don't want to get mad at this game. Because this
is why I won't play the game.
Yeah, I mean, I want to watch people play it.
I would not fault anybody for making the decision not to play this game.
Yeah, I've watched a ton.
Our 17-year-old daughter probably had about 15 hours in the game before I relented and said, fine, I'll pick it up and play. And so now I'm like kind of like, oh, you need to go over here and do this thing. But I'm not like, let me do that for you because it's hard. I'm letting her do it. And I don't want to be in the same room while she's playing Silksong.
Oh, she gets so mad.
Don't want to do it. Like, even with headphones in, I'm like, I'm just going to go hide.
Yeah. Because you can't help but... Yeah, I get it.
Exactly.
100%.
They're angry grunts and groans and stomps, and I'm just like, nope.
Like, oh, come on, you almost had it. Oh, you missed the thing. Yeah, I totally get it, especially since you played with the guide, so you actually know.
Well, I didn't. But, I mean, she has just gotten into Act 2 in that game.
Okay.
So she is nowhere near guide level yet.
All right. Well,
but
I think you're making the right call by not tormenting yourself or her and just letting her have her moment. I think Silksong is an amazing game. And for anybody that is looking to buy, a game and you're okay buying something digital and you have a kid that is patient, because that's the key of this one. You have to be patient and they have to be willing to get lost. They get frustrated by being lost and not knowing where to go. Then Silksong is not the right thing to play. But if they love just roaming around and getting beat up by crazy things and like can laugh at failure, not everybody can do that. But if they can, then this game is going to be their life for a while.
The game is also so big that it takes a long time before you'll spend a lot of time lost, but not a lot of time not knowing where to go, because there's so many places on the map where you're like, I haven't been here yet. I'm going to go find out what's there. That it takes a long time before you're like, I don't know what the next thing to do is.
Yeah.
And one of the things they did with Silksong that they didn't do with Hollow Knight is that there are these little quests that they are the breadcrumbs of the game. They kind of show you more or less what you need to do. And so long before I got to guide level stuff with this game, I never felt like I was lost.
Yeah. But I think you and I have varying definitions of lost.
Maybe. I don't know.
But
it's very much, it depends on your taste. Again, I enjoy watching other people play this game, but I would not play it for some of the same reasons why I would not go back and play one of the old 2D Metroids. I get really frustrated by the, like, oh, I need to go somewhere, but I can't go there. I have to go grind on some skills and beat a boss before I can come back to this place where I can already tell that I need to go here and then maybe do something.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's a personality difference. I just find that tantalizing. Like, ooh, I can go somewhere, but I just have to do something first. Cool.
I mean, that is absolutely a matter of taste. I think another piece is it's going to be around for so long. Like, this is what's so great is like now they're like set free and now we get to know what they're doing next, because this was supposed to be DLC for Hollow Knight. And so now it's like it's out. It's not like it's a live service game. So it's like, okay, so now we got a certain number of years to see like what they're doing next. And I think this is such an exciting time for fans, but it's got to be an exciting time for them, right? Like they wrapped this project and now they get to start working on another one. Yeah, it's I am looking forward to a whole bunch of kids picking it up on sale on Christmas morning, and that'll be one heck of a Christmas vacation game. Like I just think back to like opening up a game on Christmas and you got a whole week, and sometimes it was awesome and sometimes it was not. And like, man, the kid that gets a gift card or whatever and gets to download Silksong, man, they are in for a treat.
Yeah. But we did talk about how Silksong is not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not.
And that's okay, because you have on your gift guide stuff for everybody.
Wow, look at you. You are a professional.
That's a great segue.
So let's do that. Let's talk about the gift guide.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hard left turn for 15 minutes about Silksong, but let's talk about some games. So you've got this broken up in a couple of different ways this year on the gift guide. I'll let you kind of explain that, and then we can talk through some stuff.
Sure. So what we did is we used to have a separate article, like a separate list for PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. And in recent years, we decided to combine them, largely because I didn't want to write the cross-platform stuff more than once. Because it was just annoying doing that layout and linking, etc. And part of that is because so many games are multi-platform. And so what we decided to do is we have a list of non-exclusive games that are on just about everything. And then we go into, like, if you have this console and you're still looking for some stuff, here are some recommendations. And that seems to have gone pretty well. And so I think the very first thing we do is we kind of break down the console situation, which is very hard to do right now because everything is more expensive than it's ever been. And so it is really hard for us to recommend getting either a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X right now because they are so expensive. So, at the rates that you can get those, like the Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2 are just so much, they're a lot cheaper. And so it's hard to recommend them. With that said, if you've always had Xboxes in the house and it's just time to get the next Xbox, then, go ahead. What I wouldn't do is get the Xbox Series X or S rather. I would just pretend that doesn't exist only because the games are not going to be running on it very well very soon. It'd be like buying a 5-year-old iPhone. Mm-hmm. But as far as games, and we'll talk about the Switch 2 in a little bit, unless you want me to talk about the Switch 2 now.
No, we'll start at the top and work our way down. Let's go right into games. We're giving you guys the live picture of how it is laid out at Engage Family Gaming.
I'm literally scrolling down as we go. Yep. Okay, so for the non-exclusive games, we tried to include a pretty broad spectrum of things. And so I led off with Civilization 7 because I think Civilization 7, it's a really cool opportunity because this is a Civilization game that is out on consoles. The other one was released, Civilization 6 was released on consoles kind of late. And so it was kind of a different experience. It also was kind of, I don't think the controls really worked all that well. That is very different now. Like getting Civilization 7 for Switch 2, like the Switch 2 has a mouse because you can put the Joy-Con on the side. So, which completely changes the game. So if you ever played Civilization back in the day and have an interest for it, Civ 7 is out. It had a rocky start, but just like all Civilization games, the real release is 7 or 8 months after it came out, which is now, basically. What's different about 7 than before is you are not locked into one civilization throughout the entire game. You pick a new civilization. Really? You pick a leader and you're locked with the leader for the entire game, but you change civilizations through each age, which means there are actually civilizations that only exist during certain ages. So for example, the Hawaiian Empire only exists in the early exploration phase of the game, which helps you avoid the problem of being like, wow, I have a civilization where my special troop is archers and you can't use it at the end game when everybody else has tanks. So they change it up. It's very cool. Obviously it looks great. And there's lots of other options coming. So I think Civ 7 is one of those nerdy, crunchy games that I just wanted to put right on there. One game that is an indie game.
Can I ask you a question about Civ 7?
Yeah, of course you can.
So you mentioned it on Switch 2. I assume it runs better on a Series X or on a PS5, but the controls are going to be different. Now we have Civilization Revolution for the 360, which actually was put together pretty well. So I don't know if you have experience playing this one with a regular controller, not a Switch 2 mouse controller.
The play experience, obviously it's different, right? So on PS5, Xbox, it's different. However, you're more or less moving your cursor around. What I think is going to be is, if you have both, I think it'd be really hard to wrap your head around, playing on your computer and then move it over to your PlayStation to play. I think that might be really hard just to switch your brain around, but you're more or less just controlling a mouse cursor with your controller. It's a little bit snappier. There's some assists on there and it's a little faster, so that you're moving it around, but it's really not that bad once you just have to adjust It's not bad. I just think if you're going to play it on the Switch too, you may as well just put a little thing next to you and use the mouse controls.
Sure.
I mean, it's there. You may as well take advantage of it.
Okay.
But, this was built from the ground up with console play in mind. Whereas Civilization 6, they added consoles later based on demand. Whereas this was from day one on the whiteboard. They needed to make sure that it was designed, and they did so. So there is an indie game that we put on our list that I think that folks should pay attention to. It's on a lot of consoles. It's on Switch, PC, and that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. There's a lot of TMNT games that are out there. So if like your kids like the Turtles, or if you like the Turtles, there's lots out there, Shredder's Revenge, etc. This one is different. And you guys I actually put it on our gift guide so I could talk about it on this show.
All right.
Because it's a board game presentation. Like when I first saw it, it really gave me Unmatched vibes. You are moving the characters around on a grid. It is a tactical strategy game. The key is very similar to like Thunder Road Vendetta, where like the back of the track keeps falling off. And if you're on the back of the track that falls off, your vehicle blows up. It forces you to move forward. You can't turtle up in one corner.
No pun.
You have to keep moving. So it ends up playing like a board game in that you're moving around and you're moving your piece and you've got energy and all that stuff. But you have to move forward like you're playing an arcade brawl. And it's actually really, really cool. Now, full disclosure, Amanda Farrow, one of our podcast hosts, was the producer on this game. So like I can't give an unbiased review or anything. We've never reviewed it for that, but it's freaking neat.
That's cool.
And this is one of those, if you like Ninja Turtles, especially if you are someone that isn't very twitchy, right? Like if the arcade brawlers like really get under your skin because, you're just, it's frustrating for a number of reasons. This is different because while it does push you forward, it only pushes you forward as you move. So you can just sit and check things out. There's no time limits and things like that. So it's really nifty. That is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown. It's on just about everything and it's very inexpensive. So this is one of those ones, if you're looking for something different, you like some turtles, rock it out. I'll go faster because I know we can't be here forever. I put a Story of Seasons game on there. This one, again, full disclosure, the company did send this to me as part of our Switch 2 coverage. I played it on that. This Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is very different than your normal farming game in that normally they have this gameplay loop, right? Like you plant stuff, you pick it the next morning, you put the stuff to sell, you go to bed, and then you have that 1 day gameplay loop. And then sometimes you go meet people. This one has an additional 7-day loop. Where every 7th day you do a bazaar and you can sell stuff that you have produced as well. And that really, man, you guys know I love engine building board games. If you didn't know, I love engine builders. It really does encourage you to think like you are building an engine because everything sells for more if you produce it into stuff. So like if you get grass, you can turn it into fertilizer. If you get eggs, you can cook them and turn them into a recipe. You can bake them into a cake, all sorts of stuff. And it really encourages you to do that. So I really like that vibe. Also, it's adorable. Fat little chickens and stuff. And then just 2 other ones. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is if you do not have access to Mario Kart, this is the answer. And it is quite cool. This looks, you want to play this on a system that I wouldn't recommend this on like the OG Switch. Like you really want to play this on a system that can handle the graphics because it is very cool the way because the idea is in the middle of every map, you change tracks and they're drastically different. And it just looks so cool. And it just doesn't look as great on the Switch. And like Mega Man's in it, the dude from Yakuza and like Hatsune Miku and stuff. Like it's wild. And then if you're old like us and remember Plants vs. Zombies, there's a remaster of it that came out this year and it is immaculate. So if you wanted that, we would recommend it. What do you have for? Do you have any thoughts on the things that I've said so far? Corrections, additions?
I don't know about corrections. I mean, I agree with you that Tactical Takedown looks really interesting. I've never been a farming game person, so I mean that one is not for me. And we have
this is one of those. The farming games are for a person, and that person knows. And it's very possible that the person that knows the farming games had their eye on that one and has seen it, right? But I want to put it on there because it's one of those. It's the only one this year. Nobody else really put anything out. And it's like there wasn't an Animal Crossing. There wasn't. And so like I wanted to include some kind of like a bigger cozy game. That's where that came. Yeah. So PlayStation didn't put out any new games that didn't involve mass murder. So I will say, if you're buying games for a grown-up, Ghosts of Yotei is amazing. Probably the best looking video game I have ever laid eyes on. I have never stopped mid anything to just move the camera around and look at stuff. And I've done that maybe a dozen times. That game is bananas good visually. And also, you got swords. You be killing guys. Erika Ishii does a really great performance, etc. But they didn't do anything for families. So what we did is we literally just recycled the stuff that we had last time because they're still out there. And if you don't own them yet, they're still great. Astrobot, Final Fantasy, and Spider-Man 2.
Astrobot really is phenomenal. It is honestly, I think it has any right to be.
Astrobot's going to be on this list until there's an Astrobot 2, which we know there will be one, right? Like it's a safe recommendation to anyone.
Yes.
And it's so cool. And man, that theme song will live in my head forever.
Yep. Astrobot, another game that I 100%ed. By
yeah, so good. So good. Absolutely perfect. My oldest 100%ed it too. And they've put out a bunch of challenge levels since then. They put out
really?
There's been a bunch of free DLC, so I would definitely update it and play. There's some more stuff. And here's the thing. Xbox didn't do it either. Xbox really, they did not put out any new stuff because they didn't put out any new racing games this year. Normally, you can kind of count on Xbox to give us like a Forza or something that we can kind of lean on. And in spite of the fact that they bought all these companies, they're all making Headshot Central or they haven't made anything. So until Toys for Bob gets to work, until they unleash those guys on us, I just recycled the same stuff from the year before. Because again, those things are still great. Metaphor, which is a T-rated Persona game. If you have a kid that has expressed an interest in playing Persona, and you aren't interested in letting them play a game that has some serious mature content, Metaphor is that. It's just Sword and Sorcery Fantasy without some of the mature themes. That's cool. Star Wars Outlaws has only gotten better. In fact, since we originally put it on the gift guide, they've put out a bunch of free updates that have actually made it better. And by now, you could probably get a Game of the Year edition, super cheap, that includes all the DLC and stuff like that. Nintendo Switch 2 is where it gets interesting because obviously that's brand new. The question that I was asked multiple times this year is, we don't have a console. Do we get a Switch 2? Do we get a Switch? What do we do? The answer that I'm giving everybody is if you have younger kids and you don't know that they're going to like playing video games and it's not for you, like if you're literally just buying something for the kids, I think the OG Switch is still perfectly fine. It's cheaper. They're going to be available. There is a mountain of games that they'll be able to play. And those games will still be good if you eventually upgrade because the Switch 2 is backwards compatible.
Yeah, if you're being more budget-minded about this, the Switch is still great.
It's perfectly fine. If the money is an issue, which, I mean, it's the year 2025. Money is a problem for lots of folks. If that matters, I think the OG Switch is perfectly acceptable, especially for younger kids. They can play some Pokemon, they can play Mario, etc. But if you have older kids, or if you are going to play, or if you want to kind of future-proof a little bit and maybe not have to upgrade anytime soon, the Switch 2 is a great purchase. There's noise all over the internet about how the Switch 2, Nintendo's just owning your console. And you're going to hear some weird corners of the internet if you Google it. I'm just going to say all of those guys are super duper nerds that don't understand the actual use case of the Switch. They're mad because Nintendo has in their terms of service that they can brick your console if you hack it to allow you to play ROM games. I think, and I'm comfortable saying this, our audiences collectively are not going to do that, or will accept the fact that if they mod their Switch to play emulated stolen games, that they'll still be able to use the console. They just won't be able to connect online. And so I think you can ignore most of that criticism. It is a very premium piece of equipment. It looks so cool. The graphics are amazing. I'm very comfortable recommending buying the Switch 2 to folks, assuming the economics work out, right? It's expensive. So it's a high-end luxury entertainment device. Feed your kids, pay your car note. But man, it's going to be so cool to open that Christmas morning or on, whatever the day of Hanukkah you open it, right? It is just so cool. It looks awesome. Oh man,
it is very cool.
The snap, the little magnets of the Joy-Cons going in,
they're so much better.
Cool. It's so much better. The thing my wife likes about it is she was always nervous that it was going to break, and the reality is it was eventually break, right? Just because of the way that friction works. And this, I feel much more comfortable with the new machine. It's a little bigger, it's more comfortable in my hands, and the games look amazing. And so speaking of games, they put out a bunch of new ones. And the ones that are of note, I left 2 that I think are things that folks really need to pay attention to. And that is Super Mario Kart World, which you can get a bundle. I would probably recommend that bundle if you can find it. Where
I think that's how we bought our Switch.
That is what we got when we got our Switch 2.
Yeah. They made it sound like that bundle was going to be like limited time only, like it was going to go away. But it's still around. They've been publishing more. The difference is it's a download code. You don't get the physical game. Some people will be mad about that. I'm not. I wanted to save a little bit of money. But Mario Kart World is great. It's not the same as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's a different game. It's a different experience. But in the last couple of weeks, they've actually released some free updates that actually significantly changed some of the problems that people had. You know, the straightaways between some of the races that before were just literally going straight have been turned into actual racetracks. So they've been listening. And so this is really more of a live service game than anything else. So I highly recommend that. And Donkey Kong Bonanza won Best Family Game at the Game Awards last night, and it absolutely deserved it. This game is sick. It is just so wild to be able to go into a level and just break everything.
Yeah.
It is just so freeing and so fun to just tear stuff up and throw it everywhere, smash down into the level. It's very cool. And, you know, the dynamic with the music and funny animals and stuff, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, those are the games that are on our list. I also, you know, on our gift guide, if you look, and I'm sure there'll be a link in the notes as there is every year, I left our Switch games from last year because they're still there and they are still playable on the Switch too. And a lot of regular, a lot of OG Switch games got free updates like Super Mario Odyssey, which, you know, if you didn't buy that in the first place, if you bought a Switch 2 and only bought Super Mario Odyssey and never played it before, that game's free update puts it in 4K, 60 frames a second. Like, It's just bananas what they did with this game. And our gift guide was also written before I played Metroid Prime 4. If you liked Metroid Prime, then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is required reading. Like, if you like Metroid Prime, you got to do it. So anyway, the real lesson with the Switch 2 is if you decide to get that, don't limit yourself to just Switch 2 games. And I think that that's like a way. It's not going to save you a ton of money. The reality is Nintendo games don't really go on sale. Some of them do. Or if you can get them on Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that either, right? But like a lot of those games, a lot of them got really good updates. Super Mario Odyssey is one of them. Some of them do cost money, but the ones that cost money, you know, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, it did have a paid update, but that paid update came with DLC, like a whole nother level. Paid updates came with Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but those added some additional functionality. And if you have
Nintendo Switch Online,
and if you have Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pass, they're included for free, which I think everybody should just always have that because it's really good. And they keep adding more stuff onto that subscription, including GameCube games now, which is really good.
Yeah. How much is it, like $120 a year or something like that?
No. It's like $70 a year.
With the whole family thing, it's still $70?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have the family and that the only reason I do that, since I all live in one house, like everyone would be able to share the benefits within, you know, like everybody that's on my Switch, but I get the family one so that I can include my nephew.
Okay.
Because they don't care who's in your family. Get a bunch of friends, split it. They don't care. You just go into their site and punch in names. They don't know. They don't care.
Yeah, it's up to 8 accounts on your family plan.
Yep. And that one I think is a really good one. I mean, it's kind of a boring gift, but like if you're the kind of person that's like, I want to be the uncle that gets a cool magazine subscription every year, like getting them that is kind of cool. You know,
the coolest gift is
we talked earlier a little bit about
and adding all your family to it.
Or do that, which is totally fine. I mean, my sister and I kind of, you know, like there's lots of ways to do it and people can figure out how to be economical, you know, I'm sure. But it is a great value. I mean, obviously you need it to play online games and stuff like that.
We talked about Mario Kart World, and let me tell you, my kids have had the best time being able to hop into online races for Mario Kart World. It is a really seamless experience in a way that it wasn't with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Or whatever that was called.
And it's getting better.
It's just fun.
And it's getting better, which is a good thing. Like, it's one of those things where, like, they understand that their online services have been kind of bad. Kirby Air Riders just came out. That actually came out after this gift guide. The online experience for that one is crazy good. Maybe I should even add that to the list. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. But Kirby Air Riders is a wild, like, multiplayer racing game, kind of like multiplayer racing combat game with Kirby characters. And the online play for that one is as simple as you just create a lobby. Anybody that's your friend can just hop right in. So easy. You can invite people. It's almost like a Fortnite lobby, which is wild. So those are all the games on our list. And I talked about one for the grown-ups, talking about Ghost of Yote. Next year will be a big year. But like this year, there were lots of good games. We talked about Clair Obscur up at the top.
So I think, that's a good thing to point out is there's a lot of stuff that has come out over the course of the year that is showing up in a lot of digital stores. There's a lot of sales going on, especially this week because the Game Awards just happened. So anything that was mentioned during the Game Awards is going to have some kind of a sale up to 30 to maybe even 50% off in some cases. So that's all good. One thing I do want to kind of talk about is the state of PS Plus and the state of Game Pass, because those are things that we've talked about a lot in the past. Game Pass has gone up in price, although, and I certainly, Stephen, want to get kind of your take on it, there's a lot of places like CD Keys and Eneba and a couple of these other websites where you can get on pretty legitimate websites codes for things like Game Pass at prices that, at the very least, don't reflect the recent increases in Game Pass prices. So what are your thoughts on that? I follow Game Pass a lot more closely than I follow PlayStation Plus because we have that one.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
I mean, they function really similarly. So it's like if you have one, you get it. I think, here's the best example to talk about Game Pass. I don't have it anymore. I canceled it. And part of it is because they upped the price for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. They brought it up to about $29, so $30 a month, which is $360 a year. Now, you're right. Andrew is correct. There are places to get the codes. So if you get them ahead of time, that's an administrative load I am not willing to take on for what I was essentially treating as like a video game rental service. Like my use case is any time I woke up on a Saturday morning and I was like, man, you know what? I want to play something new. I would just boot up Game Pass and like find something that I hadn't played and download it and play it for a couple of days and then maybe turn it off or maybe come back to it later. Like I treated it really more like Blockbuster than I did as I must get the value out of this every month. And it was okay when it was $18 and it was okay when it was $20. But then when it went up to $29, it was just, okay, that's a lot. And I'm not really getting anything out of it. And it also doesn't help that my kids don't use it either.
That's a big one. See, everybody in our family plays video games. And so,
my kids play video games.
Yeah,
but they do not play the stuff. They don't. My oldest has a gaming PC. Most of the stuff he plays are like weird weeby indie games. He's 20, so his stuff is wild. And my middle son, he's a forever game guy. He just wants to play Fortnite or Valorant or Overwatch or stuff like that. So he tried, he's 17, so, he can play whatever he wants, really. And so, like, he tried to play Fallout 4 because that looked cool. And he got a little frustrated with it because it just wasn't his jam. And so then he goes back to his computer. So we just figured out the only game that was on Game Pass that was being played outside of like a handful that I would look at was my daughter was playing Minecraft, which we've never bought on Xbox because it was on Game Pass. And it's like, we could just buy Minecraft for $20.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about it. So it's, for me, I used to think they were a no-brainer purchase. And now I think you got to do the math. And, with Game Pass, it's cool because you get games day one. And, and that's really neat. And so I think it really comes down to if you only have one kid or a couple of kids playing Game Pass, it's probably not worth it. Right? Like if it's just a couple of kids and you're not going to let them play the grown-up games that come out, then it's probably not worth it. But like if you have, a couple of kids, if you are a gamer and you've got it, there's enough variety there where it's like, okay, there'll be the indie games and they're going to drop the Paw Patrols and the Peppa Pigs and like the sports games on there that my kids will play. But then if you're like a AAA gamer and you're like, okay, I'll play Fable next year. I'll play Forza. I'll do, that evens it out. It really comes down to how much value you get. And at $300 something a year, that's like 5 games. Not everybody buys 5 games, and that's 5 full price games, right? Like if one of the things you were really looking forward to was Silk Song, that's $25. Like
it's actually just $20, that's cheap. I think, but yeah.
Is it 20?
I
thought it was 25. Well, whatever. I could be wrong. The difference between 20 and 25 is insignificant, but
I thought and maybe you did the cost benefit analysis on this. I did not, because we do have a Fortnite player in the family, but he's very much a casual Fortnite player. Didn't they add like a whole bunch of Fortnite Battle Pass stuff, including some V-Bucks every month and stuff like that? Yeah, that is true. And this is where it comes down to the calculation, right? Like if you got a Fortnite player, you get their Fortnite Club. I forget what it's called. And that comes with a free skin and a bunch of V-Bucks, which I think you get enough V-Bucks
that you can buy the battle pass. Like, it ends up being kind of worth it. Like, so yeah, I mean, if you got a Fortnite gamer in the house, that comes down to the math, right? Like, if you don't have anybody that plays Fortnite, that's just wasted money. It's like buying cable and then throwing in Red Zone. Like, if nobody watches the NFL, then it's not really a benefit, right? But like, if you've got somebody that loves the NFL and is home every Sunday, then Red Zone is like a super killer value. So for you, you got a Fortnite guy. That's awesome. He gets his skin. I'm assuming it's your son.
Yeah, it's the youngest.
Okay. I don't know. Fortnite is popular with everybody. So, right, like, he gets a skin, he gets some V-Bucks. I think you get enough V-Bucks so you can buy the battle pass. That's awesome. Saves you some trouble. That's super cool. But if he stops playing and is like, no, I'm a Valorant kid now, then it's just kind of wasted. And the same thing with PlayStation. PlayStation doesn't have the day one releases, which is a thing, but, you know, it's still the same decision. It's like, okay, this is the library of games that you get access to. Is it worth it? You know, I have a friend who he is an insomniac. So he is up at like 3 a.m. and he just needs kind of an endless source of mindless games to play, and he can't go to the store. So it works out great for him. He gets tons of value out of it. I don't have PlayStation Plus either. We don't, because it's just the value proposition isn't really there, and my kids don't need it to play online.
Sure.
But every family, you'll be able to do the math and figure out. And if you go onto their respective websites, they list their benefits. I would just look and see what it gets you. And you can look at the games in their respective libraries and make a decision as far as whether or not you think that would be a benefit. These companies are trying to make these programs better, and they do try to make them worth it. So like, you can assume there will be new stuff added, stuff will be coming out. So it's like Netflix. We're familiar with that process. So as long as you're comfortable with that, you can do the value yourself. And you also don't have to stay subscribed to them forever. I know plenty of folks that have said, you know what, I'm going to not do Game Pass all year, but come June 20th, I'm going to go buy me 2 months of Game Pass so that we have it for the summer. Right. Or we'll buy a month so that they can have it over Christmas break. Like, those kind of things make perfect sense to me. Sure. Then it's $60 for unlimited video games over the summer. That's great, you know, but that kind of thing.
Yeah.
No,
does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. I just wanted to get your opinion on it.
Yeah, they're not as, I used to say they were a gimme. I used to say, just do it, set it and forget it. But they're just too expensive now.
Well, I mean, but do you not think that makes it a good gift? Like,
it's really tough, because it used to be like, oh, wow, you could get like 6 months of Game Pass for like not a huge amount. Like, you go on one of those sites, you get 6 months of Game Pass. I think it could still be a good gift if you think they would get something out of it. I would have a conversation.
As the uncle, like, maybe you're not quite as close to the particular usage patterns. Is it still a safe gift? Like, yes, you might be spending 50% more, but like, is it still a safe gift? I guess that's kind of what I'm digging into.
I mean, it's definitely safe.
Less for my purposes, because I'm paying for it anyway, but you know, for the audience.
I mean, it's definitely a safe gift because they're going to find something. I mean, both of the libraries on both Xbox and PlayStation 5, both of those platforms have a wide variety of games, right? So like, they'll find something to play. They just have to know you got a month.
Yep.
Finish that game. You know, you got a month to beat it, but that's okay. So yeah, like, if you're being the fun uncle and you want to get them a game, but you don't know what game they want, and mom and dad don't know what game they want, and you know, whatever. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Get a couple months of Game Pass. Yeah, why not? Or, you know, get a couple months of PlayStation Plus and just tell them how to use it. Make sure they know. If you're over their house, like, put in the codes for them so that they know what's going on. Because, you know, especially if they're younger, or if you're the video game uncle and your, you know, mom and dad aren't, that's a lot of us, right? Don't just give them a code and a card. Right. Go in and be like, hey, let me go put this in for you, and then put it in, and then show them how to pick games, and maybe download a few for them so that while you're having dinner or whatever, they download so they can play them when you leave. That kind of thing. Like that, that is part of the connection too. It's like sitting with your uncle, having him show you some games and talking about stuff. That's part of the experience. That's how I would do it if it were me.
All right. Well, that kind of brokers another big conversation point that we always talk about every year that Anitra is ready to talk about, because she's giving me the look like, don't steal my thing. So I'm going to shut up right now.
I am ready. I have it written in the notes, copied it from year to year.
Go, Anitra.
I used to depend on Steven to say this, and now I have it in my notes, so I will say it. If you're buying a console as a present for somebody in your family, don't leave it in the box and give it to them in the box. Don't do it. You want to do it. That is no fun. Honestly, if you want them to have fun with it on Christmas or on the day that you give them the console, you need to set it up before then. Take it out of the box, plug it in, connect it to the internet, take the 5 or 6 hours to download the updates.
It's faster now. But yes,
when I, oh my gosh, the process of me copying the Switch over to the Switch 2.
Okay, well, that's different. That's different.
That's different.
But go on, Anitra. I'm very proud of you.
But you want to do all that so that on Christmas morning or on whatever day that is, you can watch that kid's eyes light up and then they can immediately just go and start to play. Even better if you have pre-installed some games for them, whether you bought the disc or you're buying an online code. Pre-install the game, so they literally have to wait for nothing other than it's connected to the TV. We boot it up. Let's go.
And don't forget the value of free-to-play games. Throw some Fortnite on there. Throw Disney Speedstorm. Stuff like that. Little stuff. Absolutely. Anitra is 1,000% right. And here's the thing. We have all dove into various social media places and talked about this and shared this advice. And we've gotten it's about the experience, we've heard all the responses. They can wait. They should learn patience. Yes, our children should learn patience. I don't want to deal with that.
Morning.
I don't want to deal with that on Christmas morning because we got stuff to do.
Also, just take the console out of the box, close the box, wrap the box. They can open the box. They can be surprised. And you can be like, P.S. It's already hooked up and working.
Yeah.
Like, you can still have the moment. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Get wild with it, guys. Like, this is one of those things where, I've seen all the stuff you guys do with those elves on a shelf. If you can be that creative with that elf on a shelf, you can come up with an interesting way. And what I think Anitra and I envision when we talk about this, set it up, then unset it up. Throw it right back in that box and tape it back up like ain't nobody ever been there.
Yeah, sure.
What if you put a brick and one of those stupid elves in the box?
Dude. You are just listen, however y'all want to do it. But the reality is there have been too many Christmas mornings where we're all done with Christmas. Me, Anitra, and Andrew, we're right. Our families are done. We pull out our phone. Exactly. We're going back to it. We pull out our phones. And what happens? Facebook and Twitter and all the places are alive with news of gamers reporting that bad actors did some kind of denial of service attack on a platform, or just everybody opening their PlayStation and trying to install it at the same time. You don't want, we want to sit down and have our coffee cake and have our coffee and look at our presents or do anything else. Go back to bed. I don't want to sit and fiddle with installing a PlayStation 5 or anything like that.
Yeah.
So just do it ahead of time. It's not that hard. It's faster than it used to be, unless you're transferring a Switch to the Switch 2. That's a different animal. But it's different.
Then you definitely should do it ahead of time.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it took it
1,000% you should do that. It's just such a thank you very much, Anitra, for giving this advice, because you're right. I do yap about it every year. I have done it, and it's about time for me to actually put that content up on my pages too. It's such an easy thing, and it does absolutely make the morning so much better. They get to open it up and they get to play it. And man, it's just like when we were kids and we got to, open up our Super Nintendo or N64. And we just plug it right in, throw the cartridge and go crazy. They get to do the same thing that we did.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
All right. So I think we are wrapping it up. Don't forget that in addition to the Engaged Family Gaming gift guide for video games, they also have one for board games and I think TCGs. And of course, it's not too late to do some holiday shopping on the Family Gamers holiday gift guide as well.
Mm-hmm.
It is not.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll do all the administrative stuff. Steven, give us all of the places that our friends that are listening can find you and yours.
Sure. Best place to do it is to find us we're Engaged Family Gaming. We're most active on Facebook and on TikTok, but we do stream our podcast on Twitch. So you go to twitch.tv/Engaged Family Gaming. But if you just look for Engaged Family Gaming on a platform, you'll find us. We have a community that is not as big as yours, but we are a mighty few. And that's the Engaged Family Gaming Facebook community. It's pretty straightforward.
But you're in ours and we're in yours. So, hey.
Yeah, exactly. Our communities collide in interest. Constantly. So it makes sense for us all to be there. And that's great. That's the awesome part about the way we all met. So yeah, that's the places to find us. That's where that is where we are most active. And you can also, I have a public profile on Facebook also, so you can find me and follow me. I don't share stuff about my family. I just mainly talk about my content creation. So
sweet. Awesome. And we'll include all of the stuff. Actually, I should be entirely honest. Anitra will include all of the stuff in the show notes for the show. So if you have any questions or you want to get specific tags or whatever, it'll all be in the show notes.
You got it.
All right, Steven, thank you so much for coming onto the show once again, completing this. It's not Christmas until Steven's on the Family Gamers podcast.
We did it, guys.
We did it.
We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. That was a good time talking with Steven about all things video games.
Everything.
Yeah. So I think we're just going to do a little bit of admin and then wrap up the show. The first thing is going to be our new Backtalk question.
Yes.
So I did come up with a Backtalk question, which is also not about board games, just like last week's, but it is about video games because that's the topic of this week's show. So the question is this: what kind of video games do you like?
Ooh.
Do you like multiplayer games because you're a board gamer, so you're just used to playing games with other people, so you want to play either local multiplayer games or online multiplayer games? Or do you have video games as your solo play thing, which is what I do, and board games as your social play thing, right? So we've talked about this. Like, I don't play a lot of solo board games, but I also don't play a lot of multiplayer video games. Like, that's the separation in my mind.
I think you and I both only really play multiplayer video games as, like, things that are couch co-op sort of stuff.
Things, or like Mario Kart or Smash Brothers and stuff like that.
Well, but I did mention that Mario Kart with the online play is set up really well in a way that keeps it really fun and snappy that I was not expecting. Yeah. So
anyway, just to round out the question, if you want to name a particular game that is like your favorite video game, like that's fine too. But like the real question here is, what kind of video game do you like to play?
Yeah, is it?
And if you want to talk about why, that's fine too.
Is it more puzzly? Is it more fast twitch reaction time? Is it beat 'em up? Like,
what grabs you?
What is the stuff that really makes you go, this is the game I want to play?
Yeah, and if you couldn't tell from the diversion at the beginning of the time with Steven, my kind is 2D platformer named Hollow Knight Silksong. Or like it. So, if you would like to tell us about your favorite kind of video game, you can find us all over the internet at Family Gamers AA. You can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, YouTube, at Family Gamers AA. We're going to post this question in the Family Gamers community on Facebook. You can get there by searching for the Family Gamers community or going to thefamilygamers.com/community, which you should be doing to say hello to our new community members, obviously.
Or you can follow the links that are in the show notes.
You can do that too, yeah. So if you are not yet on our Discord server, please come to the Family Tabletop community on Discord. We are not the only content creators on there. There's a bunch of others, Little Big Thumbs, First Player Token, etc. So come on over. You can go to thefamilygamers.com/Discord for the permanent invite to that.
If you don't like social media, you can still contact us. The easiest way then is probably email. I am Anitra at thefamilygamers.com.
Andrew at thefamilygamers.com.
Please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast if you like what you've heard. Tell your friends about the podcast, maybe even if you didn't like this episode, but you like the board game ones. And it's super helpful if you can leave a review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you subscribe, if that allows you to leave reviews. Please do.
You can also find us on Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, and YouTube Music.
The Family Gamers is sponsored by First Move Financial. Go to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers and learn how the team at First Move Financial can help you pile up the victory points.
Thanks one more time to First Move for sponsoring the Family Gamers podcast. All right, so looking ahead, Anitra, I'm going to tell everybody what we're going to do on the next show. How's that sound?
All right, go for it.
The next show is going to be publishing like right around Christmas. It's going to be right after Christmas that we're going to publish that show. And so we just want to talk about fun stuff. We are going to give you a list of games that are just plain fun. Top 10, I don't really know. Whatever it's going to be. It's going to be probably 5 or 10 games. They are the games that we think are the most fun. So that's going to be what we're going to talk about next time. And then after that, in the new year, we're going to look back on all of the stuff that sold through our affiliate links on Amazon, and we're going to give you the top 10 games that people bought, and that's going to give you kind of a bead on, you know, what people are buying these days.
I think we may combine that with us personally also picking our top game of 2025.
We might.
Each of us.
We might. If you have an opinion about that, you know where to find us and tell us what you want us to talk about. But until then, everybody, play games with your kids.